Hey, what's up, you beautiful How y'all doing? Oh, wait, I know a much better one. Top of the morning to ye latties, my name is Rebecca, and I've got the best Irish accent, not tactical potato or hydroxate, me. In today's video, we're taking a look at a weapon that Mr. Potato here left out of the top 10 sidearms video, something he deserves a slap on the wrist for. It is, of course, our wub wub cannon, the Sonicor, which totally deserved to be in that top 10 list, and he knows it. So not so tactical potato here is going to explain just why it should have been in that video, aren't you, John? Go on, explain yourself. Explain why it's such an amazing weapon.
Okay, so the Sonicor didn't make the top 10 list for my secondary weapons video, but come on, don't knock the accent. I mean, it's all I got going for me. Although you guys watching this gotta admit, Lotus herself, Rebecca, done a pretty good job at attempting an Irish accent because it's not an easy accent to try out. Try it out for yourself. In fact, let me help you. Let me give you a little lesson on how to sound Irish. All you need to do is just say these 4 simple words, but you need to say them really fast. The first word is whale, oil, beef, hooked. Simple as that. Say those 4 words. Whale, oil, beef, hooked. Whale, oil, beef, hooked. Whale, oil, beef, hooked. There you go. Simple as that. Now you sound somewhat Irish. All you're missing is a pint of Guinness and a punch in the gob. So before I start the video properly, my voice is a little bit fecked at the minute from flu, as you can probably tell just by listening to me. I kinda sound like an old granny who's been smoking 60 a day for her whole life. I mean, would you like a yogurt? Come here and give Granny Potato a kiss. I mean, it's not nice to listen to, so I do really apologise. But yes, it's true. I left the Sonicor out of the original top 10 in my best sidearms video, and it caused a little bit of a stir. A lot of you guys were surprised that it didn't make it in, and a lot of you felt that it deserved to be in that video, and maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I can't change that now because the video is already out there, but it is definitely an incredible weapon. There's no denying that. And it can be gotten at a really low mastery level as well, so it's ideal for new players. Also, when its damage eventually starts to drop off against higher level enemies, it can still crowd control like no other sidearm. It ragdolls like crazy. 1 minute that Grenadier Butcher is running towards you, hell-bent on destruction, and the next he's ass overhead tumbling down a hallway wondering what he did so wrong in his life that left him being wubbed by a pink feckin' limbo with a cape. Or else you've just ragdolled him so hard that he's halfway to a different planet. So the Sonicor is a Mastery Rank 2 impact-based weapon, and its blueprint can be bought on the market for 20,000 credits, and it's a weapon that as a new player you can keep with you for a very long time. It scales really well into all of our current content, even to sorties and maybe a little bit beyond, depending on what mods you have, so you don't really need to change it early on as a new player. But like I said earlier, the Sonicor has got crowd control capabilities that a lot of other weapons don't have, and at higher levels crowd control can be absolutely amazing. Now, each round you fire from the Sonicor has a 15 meter range. Anything outside of that range will take no damage, so you need to be close enough to actually fire those rounds off and deal some damage. But when it reaches that 15 meter range, or when it comes into proximity of an enemy, it will detonate with a 5 meter blast radius, and it will cause guaranteed knockbacks or knockdowns. So like I said, each one of its bullets will ragdoll and cause a feck ton of damage at the same time. But how do you guys go about modding your Sonicor? Because there's kind of 2 different ways you can set it up. Do you mod for all out damage, or do you mod it for utility and for that ragdoll? Do you want to wreck face, or do you want to ragdoll their asses all over the place? That's basically what you want to decide when you're modding this weapon. Because the Sonicor has 2 different sets of stats. One is for the normal attack mode, which has 0% status chance and 0% crit chance, so you would have to mod for all out raw damage if you want to go with that build. Or you could go about modding it for that AoE explosion, because the Sonicor's AoE damage, which is that explosion that goes off when it's in proximity to an enemy or at the end of its 15 meter range, has a base 25% status chance and a 10% crit chance. So if you wanted, you could mod it for all out status and go for that utility of either blast damage for extra knockbacks and crowd control, or for gas, or whatever you want to help you deal with those larger crowds once you get into the higher levels. One of the definite big downsides to using the Sonicor is, however, the weapon has a 3-second reload, so you may want to mod for that as well if you don't like waiting for 3 seconds while you're, I guess, running away from enemies. But again, that is entirely up to you. Now, if you're new to Warframe and you can actually get your hands on all of the resources required to build the Sonicor, then don't hold back. Get out there and build it as soon as you can, because it scales, like I said, really well. As you level your account up and you progress from planet to planet, you won't need to change that weapon for a very long time. And then once you eventually do level your account up, you will be able to buy newer, I guess, and more powerful weapons if you want to. Now, the Sonicor is one of Rebecca from Digital Extreme's favourite weapons, so that's another reason as to why I covered it in this video, because she offered to do a small voiceover for me on Twitter because my voice is disappearing because of feckin' man flu. So I want to just say thanks again to her. It was a really nice thing to do, and it's not an easy thing to do either, trying to imitate someone else's accent. I couldn't do it with an American accent or with a Canadian accent or French or German or Russian or anything like that. I am terrible at accents. So it was really awesome for her to do that, so make sure and let her know. Don't forget to leave a like for old Granny Potato if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.